Welcome back to Kearney Creek Farm, and today I'm going to share 5 tips for electrical installation that you can use at home. And to do that, we're going to use my little mock-up wall here. I'll bring you over here and show you the first tip. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I in the way? All right, here we are on the mock-up wall. We're going to pretend this sheetrock goes all the way from the floor all the way to the ceiling. I didn't have much sheetrock, so I decided to just go ahead and use this. Let's say we want to put a receptacle in this wall, but we don't know what's behind it. We can't see the screws because this wall is finished, it's painted, so we're going to have to guess. A couple ways you can do that. Of course, you can use a stud finder, you can knock on it, you can hear when it gets hollow, when it gets solid. Another way I like to do it, let's just say that we're going to put our receptacle at 18 to the top, just roughly, and then we'll grab our box. We'll turn it around so that the box, the open side, faces this direction. We'll go ahead and throw a level on it, get it on top there, and let's see. Kind of hard to do without getting in front of the camera. Let's just go ahead and mark this one and this one. Pull the level off. And we'll go ahead and line it up and finish marking it. So obviously these tabs are going to go in front of the sheetrock like that. So we're not going to want to cut there, obviously. We're just going to square that off. And this can be rough too. It doesn't have to be perfect. All we're trying to do now is verify there's nothing behind the sheetrock here that we need to drill into. These are getting harder and harder to find, but this is the bottom wire from a wire clothes hanger. And what you want to do is just cut off the long part of the wire clothes hanger, come to the end here, and with your pliers cut this at an angle. So you have a sharp angle. Let's see, so you have a sharp point like that. And then you take your drill and go ahead and just chuck it up in the drill. What you're going to do next is take this sharp end, place it somewhere in the middle, and you're going to drill into the sheetrock. You kind of feel when you get back there, it'll kind of get lighter as you push this in and go through. If there was plumbing or anything else back here, you don't want to just jam the thing in there. You want to kind of get through the sheetrock, and then you can kind of see, okay, that's good enough, and then pull that back. Do not go into a pipe, a wire, anything else. Then what you're going to do is take another piece of wire hanger, and you're going to try to bend it half the size of the box. So if we go, let's just say right about here, maybe a little bit more, and then we'll take our pliers and bend it right there. So we have like a 90. And what we're going to do is we're going to shove that in to the bottom, into the wall. So now we have the wire inside the wall, and you can see as I'm spinning it, it's going about out to here, spin it the other way, and it's going out to about here-ish. And that will tell you that there is no other stud here or any obstruction here or here. It's right in the middle. Nothing is in the way. And now you can pull that out, and if you want to, and see this hole here, if I made a mistake, I could tuck this paper back in here, throw some spackle in there, paint that, and you'd probably never know it was there. Let's put one up higher here. And put one down lower if we want to. Usually I just drill the one hole and call it good. But let's go ahead and put this back in here to the bottom hole. And as this swings around on the inside, I can feel if there's any obstructions. So there's no obstructions there. Oops, let's go to the top. Spin that around there. No obstructions. So we know that we're good to go ahead and cut this out. If you wanted to get crazy, yes, you could drill a hole in top corners, bottom corners, just to verify. But I kind of like to go at least maybe one hole towards the center, and maybe if I get worried about something, if I kind of feel something, I'll go one top, one lower. I might move it over a little bit till I can get my spot exactly so I don't hit, like I said, a pipe or a piece or a stud or anything like that. I know that this cavity is open. Have you guys seen those single gang attachments for these? You can just put it right on there and it cuts the whole thing. That's what I want. I don't have one of those. I don't usually do residential. Let's see if this box fits. Okay, that fits perfectly. Nice. Tip number 2. Let's say again this sheetrock goes all the way down and this is your base molding, and you need to drill to get a wire up into this box here from, say, your crawl space or your unfinished basement down below. You can take this wire on your drill and you can push it, you can tuck it behind, it'll actually bend, and you can tuck it behind your base molding, and you can drill a hole straight down through the subfloor into a basement or a crawl space. And then when you get down below, you can leave the wire down below, measure over from where the wire comes down. Let's say you wanted to go 1 3/4 inches, go back toward the outside wall. Now this is not professional advice, let's put it that way. But if you know what you're doing, you know that where the wire comes down, if you go to an offset, say 1 3/4 inches, and you were to drill straight up, you would be right in the middle of this 2x4 right here, for example. 2x6, you're going to have to measure 2x6, find halfway, and then drill a hole up and bring your wire up. Similar thing up here. You've got sheetrock here, you've got a sheetrock ceiling. Unless you have a crown molding on between your ceiling and your wall, you can just take this and go up through the sheetrock, hold that tight, make it go straight, and then drill up through your sheetrock. Same thing, when you get in the attic, you can see where the wire comes up, measure back, drill down, and that will give you a hole similar to this. Tip number 3, when you get your Romex from Home Depot or wherever else, and you cut it open in the center, you pull your wire up, grab the hold of the wire and use both hands. Go this, and pull it out of the plastic like this. Why? Because what you're going to do next is you're going to take it and you are going to use your hands and roll this out. If you roll it out, you kind of use your feet to kind of hold it. When you roll it out, now there are no twists or kinks in this at all. If you were just to grab from the center and start going, it'll twist, it'll twist, it'll twist, and when you go to pull it through the wall or wherever else, you'll have twists. You'll be fighting those the whole time. So hand over hand, roll it out, and you're good to go. Let's say now we have to get our wire from, say, the attic, or if you're just doing a rough in, you just can put it like this and pull down, obviously, and get it to your box. But what happens if you have sheetrock in here and you can't see the wire at all? Sure, you could just push it down and it'll stay in it should stay in the cavity. But sometimes if you've got, say, anything else coming through here, whether it's a pipe or whether it's insulation, you need something to kind of help you out. So what I've seen some guys do is they'll take their razor knife and they'll score the jacket, and then they'll cut down like this. They'll do this when they make up a box too, and it absolutely drives me crazy. Sure, that's easy, that's doable. You know what's bigger than that? Figure out how much you want. Take your strippers and ring it like that, lightly. Then pop that off. Done. No razor knife, no trying to strip down it and risk slicing open one of your insulated conductors. And if you look at this, if I pull the sheath back and pull this paper back here, you will not see any damage to those conductors. Both sides there. That was a little bonus tip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and just cut, doesn't matter, we're going to cut 2 of these off. We're just going to cut off, let's just cut off those 2. So I got 1 conductor left. Now you can do, if you wanted to, get yourself some 33 or some electrical tape. And I usually wouldn't do this, but if I can get it, there we go. Brand new roll. Is you can kind of tape this up here, tape the sheath to the wire. Because if not, sometimes if you're pulling on this, the sheath will kind of come back and it'll get all gathered up and be even harder for you to pull the cable through. Next thing you want to do is you want to bend this over like such, so you have some extra down here on the sheath, and then you can tape that up. And this is pretty much just for more extreme conditions. You're doing something, you're fishing wire and it's just not working. Oh, here's another bonus one. When you're, let's do that again actually. Let's go ahead and just pull that off. If you're taping something to a cable or you're taping a bundle of wires and you're feeding it into a conduit and your buddy's going to be on the other end and he has to get the tape off, say off of the fish tape or off of the string, when you're wrapping this stuff up, when you get to the end, pull it out a little bit like that, break it like that so you've got a tab like such. Fold that tab back over like that. Leave a tag. So now you've got what's called a buddy loop. That way when your buddy who's pulling this in or pulling a group of conductors in, say they want to maintain this head here, not cut it off, they can just grab that loop and unwrap it. Now that you have your buddy loop done, grab yourself some string. In this case I have some light duty mule tape, but I do like the stuff that we use at work. It's like a green and white. It's smaller than this. It's made for electricians to pull in conductors, network cables, that kind of stuff. So what you want to do is just tie yourself. Doesn't really matter too much. Just make sure it's secure. Of course, this is going to be a little bit harder to do because this is the thicker. And then when you get a loop, say about, 10 inches, just make an overhand knot in it and pull that out. And then keep doing that the whole way down. Now you can see we have all these loops. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove this down through the hole. Once again, this would be so much easier if I had the actual smaller string. Push that through. So if we're lucky, we'll see something like this. We'll see the loops coming through. And if we had a hard time grabbing them, say they were stuck back in here in the corner because of whatever, you could take your wire with a hook on it and you can reach it in here, and this will go, you can try pushing it up there and spinning it and it'll get caught up in your string. This helps out a lot, especially if you have, say, the longer wires that they use for, see how tight that is? Can't get it off there. the wires they use for suspended ceilings or acoustic ceilings, you can shove that wire up like 6 feet with a hook on it and spin it, and it'll grab your string. So then we'll go ahead and pull that down, and now we've got plenty of wire to work with. Some guys will take their box and they will push up from the bottom and pop these things out from the bottom. I don't know why they do that. To me, these are little grippy guys. You push down on these. That way when your cable, your wire goes down into that, it can't pull back out. It's like a little Chinese finger trap type thing. So you kind of just get that open a little bit, big enough to put your wire. And some guys will run this on to the box and then put it in here, and then they'll take their razor knife and they'll strip it out from the inside. I can't stand that. I don't know, again, I'm gonna rant here. I'm an old guy, been an electrician for too long, and I've seen things that just irritate me because that's just not how I do them, and yes, I'm old and stubborn. So we're gonna go ahead and just do that same method. We're gonna ring it, and we're going to pull it. I mean, look at that. It's so, that was such a light cut. The outside paper is still on. Let's go ahead and take that off. So sometimes when you're putting your wire in your box like this, if you leave the wires straight and push it in the box, it'll just stop like that on the bottom. So what I do is I'll put some curl to it like this. That way when I push it in, it curls out toward the front of the box. So now that you get that, just push it up your box and then look inside there. You can kind of choose how much insulation you want showing, which that's pretty good. Get your tabs, push them in, push the box in, and then go ahead and tighten up these screws here. You can see how the wings operate. As I tighten it, it pushes against the sheetrock until it gets snug. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the bottom one. Now that this is all tightened up, and let's say we're not going to put this receptacle in right now, we're going to do a bunch, but we want the wire rolled up. Take your one hand and push this down at the bottom, like that, so it's all the way against the bottom. And some guys I've seen on YouTube will cut this. They'll say, you know, you put your finger in there, use your thumb or something, and you want it right there. That's pretty close. Depends on what you're doing. If you need the extra wire to make up something, I would have just stripped out more wire. But since I only have one, you just kind of after a while know about their, some guys use some guys use their strippers for a gauge. They'll run it against the box, and wherever the bottom of the handle is, you just clip it there. But I just kind of eyeball it and go right about there. And with your finger back here, your fingers up here, you want to roll, and push it back in there. That way, when you're ready to make up, you just pull that straight out, roll it out, and they're pretty straight, ready to go. All right, this next tip is more for the commercial guys. This is 1/2 inch EMT. It is conduit, not pipe. If you missed that video, go search, what's it called? Conduit is not pipe. And read the comments. You're gonna love those. But no, I'm an electrician. This is conduit. I'm not a plumber, not pipe. All right, let's say you're a commercial electrician. You're working on, say, a store, an office, something like that. You're above the drop ceiling, and you've got to get a conduit from this side of the wall to this side of the wall. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to show you how. We're going to grab our old friend here, our drill with the wire on it, and we're going to just pick a spot that we hope is hollow. So we'll start. Now I can feel that we're through. And if I kind of advance it, and the thing about it is you're going to try to keep this wire as straight as possible. You don't want to have it down here. You don't want to have it over here. You want to see if you can get it as straight as possible. And it's not hugely critical, but it helps to get your conduit through after we drill the other hole. So now if you needed to, you could unchuck the drill and leave that wire in the wall, so you can get to the other side to see where it came through. Now that we have our wire through both sides, this acts like a spotter, so we know that this side and this side are in a pretty close line. So what we can do is take the wire out and then chuck up. In this case, it's a 7/8 hole saw, which is the same outside diameter as 1/2 inch EMT. I can go to that mark right there where I had my piece of wire and go ahead and find our other mark here, drill that through. So now, as you can see, we have a hole straight through here. Now we grab our conduit here and we can try to find the other hole there, and now we have a conduit through a hole, and you can get going, get pulling that wire. So those are my, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 tips for electricians and DIYers to use at home, or if you're a professional, you can use at work. That's just a few of the things I've picked up over the years. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Tell me how you guys do it. Usually when I make these videos, someone gets a little butthurt and wants to chew me out for something. This is the way I do work. This is the way I've been doing work for years. If you've got a better way, let me know, because I'm always up for learning. But if you enjoy these videos, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.